Hi, Matt with eTrailer. Today we're going to be talking about our Yakima SightLine FX roof rack system on a 2022 Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. Now this is going to be a great option for you if you're looking for something that's not going to have a lot of parts to it and everything's pretty compact with your crossbars and towers coming as one and then having your fit kit as well. It's going to give you a great option if you run out of storage in your vehicle, whether there's a lot of people back there or you fill up on luggage. It's going to be great for any other luggage you need to put on top or if you have any other sporting equipment with you. So our system is going to be made up of those SightLine FX crossbars on top, and then beneath them is just going to be our Yakima fit kit. Now let's take a closer look at each one of them. Taking a closer look at our crossbars, they're going to have this Aero shape to them. That's just going to make them more aerodynamic. And on top of them, we're going to have this T-track installed along with this weather strip that's actually built into it. Now I really like that built-in weather strip because a lot of times you got to cut them down the size to get them to fit on there to accommodate your other gear. But in this case, you don't have to cut anything, and it's going to help things stay out of there and kind of lose out on some of that wind noise. We're going to have this end cap, and what I like about that end cap is it kind of gives it this sleek design, kind of hiding all that hardware that kind of clamps down to your rails. Now, if you want to get any clamped-on accessories on here, it's still going to have plenty of room to do that. If I go from the top of our roof to the bottom of our crossbar, that's going to sit at 3.5 inches, giving you ample room. Now, if you do put any of those kind of clamp-on accessories, that's going to add more to the top of your vehicle. So right now, the crossbar is adding from the top of our rails to the top of the crossbar system is going to add 4.5 inches. So that's not too bad, but just be sure when you do have this on your roof, you're adding the height of your vehicle, the height of the crossbar, and then if you have any accessories on here, kind of add that height too. Overall, this is going to be a solid rack. I really like the way it looks. But if you're looking for something that's going to be a little bit easier to put on, I'd actually recommend the Rhino Roof Rack system. It's going to be not a similar process, but just a lot easier, and you don't have to mess with your pitch. But if you like this secure fit and the design of it, I say it's going to be a great option for you. But if you need help putting it on, just stay tuned and we'll show you how to do that. To start off our install, I'd just like to lay everything out. So we're going to have our crossbars, and we're going to have 2 of those with our towers built into them. And then we're going to have the hardware for those towers, and that's going to consist of these 2 different types of clips or clamps, and that's going to come along with these feet here. For removing this end cap, and once you've removed that, you can grab a screwdriver or flathead, and you can just turn this till about 90 degrees, and then you can take off this cap as well. With that one removed, we can kind of loosen this up some, just using your included Allen key. Just loosen it up until it's not tight, and it's easy to kind of maneuver. You flip it over, you want to make sure that the center arrow in the middle is facing forward. It's going to make moving on a lot simpler. But we're going to take our included tool and we're going to loosen up this bolt right on our towers, just turning it 3 times as per what the directions recommend. And then you can do that same process on the other side. You're going to have to refer to the directions that came with your fit guide. And ours today on the Atlas is going to be 39 7/8. And where you're going to measure from is from one bolt to the other bolt on your towers. If you want to half that number to make it a little bit easier for you, you can go from the bolt all the way to this arrow. Just making sure that you half that number. Now we're going to move over to our pitch, and that's just going to be relocating this bolt to its appropriate setting, and that's going to be on A, the furthest point away from us. After when you've done that, you can tighten everything down and repeat that same process on the other side. We're going to grab this base here, and it's going to have these 2 notches on it, and we're just going to line it up with this bar on the tower, making sure that these 2 bumps are facing away from us and away from the interior of the crossbar. We're going to grab our R38 clamp, and we're going to remove these safety clips right here. So they kind of sit like that. And we're just going to slide this through this channel and line everything up. And once it's in place, you can put those safety clips back on. When you move to your outer side now, you're just going to grab your R41 clamp and just slide it through this side too. Now before we put our crossbar up there, we're going to have to get our measurement. In our case, that's going to be 16 inches. And you're going to be measuring from the front of your windshield to the point where your tower is going to sit. And I've already marked mine out with a piece of tape. You will have some stickers that come with your crossbars, so you could use one of those. When you are lifting it up here to put it in place, make sure it's in the right orientation. So you're going to want that thicker side facing forward towards the front of the vehicle and the thinner side facing behind you. And when you just lift it up there, just kind of line it up with the rails and let it rest. And then you can make any adjustments afterwards. When everything's even on both sides, you can tighten everything down, tightening it a little bit on one side, then going to the other side, so you don't tighten one side more than the other. But once you get near the end, it should get a little bit tougher until you start to hear a click from your device, just like that. Then you know it's going to be on there all the way. Then we can repeat that same process on the other crossbar. When we get the rear crossbar up here, we're going to have a crossbar spread of 32 inches, and that's kind of going off what the recommendation is. And to finish it off, I'm just going to take this first end cap and line up the grooves and place it on here. And then take our flathead screwdriver and turn this 90 degrees to the lock position. And then I'm going to take our final end cap and place it on. After this, I can do that same thing on the other side, and then we can do a shake test to make sure everything feels secured. If you liked everything you saw today, that's just a look at the Yakima SightLine FX system on our 2022 Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport.